So I've seen the news. Maybe you're all seeing it. The sin bin rule, the idea of sin bins is coming to football. And I am personally, I'm feeling a bit smug. I'm feeling a bit smug because I have long called for sin bins in football. I really believe there is a place for them in the game. I really believe that it's the kind of thing that will give referees an ability to not make such big and decisive decisions by finding a middle ground that can, I think, more fairly judge situations that happen in the game. Let me explain what I mean. Well, firstly, the reports are saying that essentially player dissent and certain fouls as well are going to be rejudged by the idea of a sin bin in which a player takes a particular amount of time off the pitch. We've seen it in rugby. Now, a lot of people don't like it. They think it just gives the referees another excuse, another thing to get wrong, another something they can manipulate. You know, they can give a sin bin instead of a yellow if they want to weight something in a certain direction. But I've said before, I don't believe in this corruption nonsense. I just think they're pretty useless for everyone. Look at Man City. Everyone's saying Man City gets every decision, and then they go and, you know, have that goal disallowed against Liverpool, which was an absolute disgrace. I don't believe that there's anything dodgy to worry about in the application of sin bins. I believe it is nothing but a good thing for football. I've called for a lot of rule changes, and one of them is this. Now, here's the thing about sin bins. With sin bins, there are certain challenges in football, don't you think, that, let's put it this way, if there's a red card, it completely alters the direction of the game. Unless you're talking first versus 20th in the Premier League, and, you know, the team who are first have a man sent off, you would still expect them to largely dominate. But, like, still, it swings it quite drastically, the course of a game. Pretty much any other position in the table, if 5th were away to 14th and 5th have a man sent off, 14th are going to dominate that game. Having the extra man makes a massive difference. And there are certain moments in games where players are sent off and I think, oh, I can understand that, but that's really harsh. Like, that is really harsh on the team. An accidental moment has put them massively in a on the back foot, disadvantageous position. I know advantageous is a word, I don't know if disadvantageous is. It puts them on the back foot. And I just sit there and I think, as well as that's true for red cards that feel a bit harsh, there are yellow cards that feel like, okay, maybe the player didn't deserve to be sent off, but my word, does that feel like cheating. I'll give you a really good example. When a player is running, you know, towards goal, it's a 3-on-2. You know, a team have it's attack in transition and there's a counter-attack. And he's cynically pulled down by the opposition. Or they just sort of lunge to bring them down to stop the counter-attack. What does that player get? They get a yellow card. But it's actually quite easy to manage the rest of the game without picking another yellow card. So the idea of a sin bin, where you are denying a really good goal-scoring opportunity that it's not a definite goal, but it's a real chance for the opposition. Suddenly you're saying to that fouling player, do you want to take 10-15 minutes off the pitch and put your team in that position? Now maybe they might, but at least there's a legitimate punishment for doing it. At least the attacking team can go, alright, they've ruined that, but we've now got 10-15 minutes to have a real go. Look at the Curtis Jones red card. There's another one recently, I think, was it Malo Gusto, and a few other red cards where the player has got the ball, but he's kind of rolled over and caught him anyway. Is that a red card? He's got the ball. He's got, his job is to try and get a touch on the ball, but it's not always his fault if he doesn't get enough of it. So isn't an orange card and a sin bin exactly what the game needs to iron out that issue? Basically saying to the player, look, you've caught him badly, it's unlucky, I know you didn't mean to, but you're going to have to take 10-15 minutes off the pitch for that because you could have really hurt him, whether you meant to or not. And then that team that suffered that injury at least get the benefit of 10-15 minutes on the ball more, dominating that game, and you're not ruining the spectacle completely because the defending team will get them back at some point and it'll even out again. It feels to me like a really nice weighting of certain decisions not having to be a yellow, which is kind of barely punishment sometimes, and a red that can feel supremely harsh. I don't know. Like, I know if you won't. I know a lot of you won't be liking it, and I understand. Like, what I don't want them to do is see players moaning in the heat of a game, in the passion, in the fire. I don't want to see them moaning, and and then basically referees going, "I'm sick of this. You were very rude. I'm pulling out the orange card. Off you go." I agree. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see referees be petty with it. That would be really, really disappointing. But I do want to see certain things that players do on a football pitch punish more. Here's another one: headbutts. Vinicius. Did you see the Vinicius? I mentioned it on yesterday's podcast. You see Vinicius with the kind of headbutt movement towards Max Kilman. For me, that is sin bin worthy. He hasn't hurt him. Or actually, you know what? If they want to keep enforcing red cards for that, I don't mind. Because if you want to stamp out the game, then you kind of got to be really brutal with it and just be like, ruthless. You've got to say, no, we're not allowing that whatsoever. Out you go. But it wasn't a headbutt as much as it was like a movement, towards the player. Now, I think in the modern game, that's a red card. I think it's a disgrace they didn't give it. But an orange card feels right. Take 10-15 minutes, go cool your head, calm down, and then come on the pitch. Or actually, if they want to bring on a sub in 15 minutes, we'll allow that. Like, for me, again, that just feels like better use of a better way of officiating those kind of moments. I'd love to, let me all know on socials, people. Am I talking complete nonsense? Or do you actually think there's a place for this? I think if they use it right, there absolutely can be. It's one of my many rules that I want to see in the game. I also want to see shorter matches, but with pauses when the ball goes out of play. I think that would be great. It ensures that the right amount of minutes is played, regardless of, basically, time wasting would be a non-event, wouldn't it? I think every shirt pull should be given, so then they stop doing it. I want to see challenges with VAR. I've mentioned that before. I want to see VAR not used to look at every single decision. I want to see managers and players who complain loads to actually be given the responsibility to go, cool, if you feel a decision's gone against your way, you go 1 minute from when the incident happened to put in a challenge, either the captain or the manager, and then it will get re-looked at. Then therefore you don't get VAR constantly on hand trying to look at everything. Mentally exhausting job for 90 minutes. Get them active when they need to be active. There's a few rule changes I want to see. And yeah, I've just listed them there, but sin bins is definitely something I'm up for. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, actually hit the links right here to watch more content like this, including my Football First podcast, which drops every Monday to Friday at 6 AM. And I know it's annoying, I am really sorry to have to ask, but if you want to show support to the channel, hitting the like and subscribe buttons help promote the content much more than you could possibly know. Thanks again.